do it. Perfect. Hi, Sasha. How are you?
I'm good, Claire.
Happy Sunday and thanks for being here today. Are you ready for some questions?
I am ready.
All right. What is your spirit animal?
Oh boy. Um, that's very difficult. I think I would probably have to say a cat. I like the feline energy. I like the independence. I like the sass.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm a cat person. What is something that is not taught in schools but should be?
Taxes.
So
Um,
practical.
it sounds ridiculous, but as an artist and as a entrepreneur, if I had had a lot more education around how our tax system works and how to construct a business, I think I would be more successful earlier. And I think a lot more people would be interested in pursuing independent business and just be a lot more confident in how they handle their taxes and their relationship with government.
I love that. Is there any artist you go back to over and over again for inspiration?
Oh boy. Alphonse Mucha, probably.
Oh,
Our styles are not necessarily very similar, but the way his work is just has so much flow to it and the color palette is so consistent. I just very much admire that dedication. I'm very much a person who enjoys exploring a bunch of different styles.
yeah.
But anytime I'm not feeling it, I go back to his work and I just look at the shapes and it makes me so happy.
It's gorgeous and so timeless too. I feel like never gets old.
No.
Describe an ideal Sunday.
Oh boy. Probably sleeping in. I like to sleep a lot. I think most artists do.
Uh-huh.
Um, so sleeping in, having a cinnamon roll, having some tea, just watching the world wake up and listening to the birds, and then just maybe reading a book for the rest of the day.
I love it. Finish this sentence. We have invented coffee for.
We have invented coffee for enjoyment.
Yeah,
I'm not a coffee drinker myself, but I love the scent of it. I love the smell. And I know for a lot of people, coffee is one of those luxuries that really makes getting through a day where maybe you don't particularly enjoy what you do, or maybe you really enjoy what you do. It just makes it all that more special.
what's your alternative for coffee if you don't drink it? Do you have anything else you like?
Tea, for sure. I'm very much a tea drinker. I like just the run of the mill chai latte, but I also really enjoy just black tea with
Yeah.
like a little bit of sugar, a little bit of milk. Um, I love it. It's so delicious.
Yes. Oh, do you think talent is mainly acquired by training or some people are born with it?
I think talent is a practice. I don't think it's innate. I think that people can have the predisposition to certain skills like observation, which
Mhm.
then translate to talent, or they might have better eye-hand coordination, and that means that they have an advantage over somebody who doesn't. But I think when it comes to artistic talent, it's a practice of using the skills you already have or skills you'd like to acquire and building those up into something that's you both enjoy and others enjoy.
Agree. If I come to Iowa, what should I see first?
Oh, I would say the Capitol building,
Yeah.
honestly. It's beautiful, and there's just kind of a gothic hauntedness when you just look at all the glittering gold. We have a gold cap on the top of our Capitol building, and I've been inside once, and there's a huge library for our laws and legislation, and it is some of the most gorgeous woodwork and painting that I've ever seen in person. It's truly beautiful.
Wow, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Should we fear technology as a protection or learn how to master it?
I don't think we should fear technology because if you make decisions out of fear, you're more likely to A, miss the advantages, but also um, be blinded by your own fear. And, if that's something that you would like to counter, then you're less likely to educate yourself. So I don't think we should fear technology. I think the technology has just as much potential as human beings to cause harm because humans create technology. So I think what we should do is be cautious of technology, embrace what it can do and improve in our lives, but also be aware that humans are creating it and the potential of humans to cause harm very much still exists.
Yeah, absolutely. Rock, electro, folk, or hip hop?
Oh, I would have to say rock. I listen to a lot of soft music,
Yay.
but a lot of it transitions over into some rock.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a lot of alternative indie psychedelic
Oh,
rock. So yeah.
me too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Do you have any superstition when it comes down to creating your art?
Yes, I do. Don't have your art stuff set up ahead of time because if you're just staring at a project in the corner and it's all set up and ready for you to work and you're just
Mhm.
not feeling it, you're going to feel like you are under pressure. It feels more like a chore and less like a participation in a creative practice. That's not necessarily true for all people, but for
Yeah,
me, the part of practice for art involves setting up and tearing down. And when I make sure to involve that in my practice, I tend to be more involved, more creative, and just more excited all around.
yeah, great, great advice. What gives you butterflies in your stomach?
Oh, color. If I find a new paint color or color scheme in general, and I want to explore that in my art, that definitely always just gives me butterflies. And like, I just want to see this color everywhere for a while.
Yeah, that's lovely. Do you still send handwritten old school mail in the post?
What's the question?
Still send old school mail in the post, like you write letters and postcards to people, or
Oh,
not anymore?
I don't. I wish I did. I love receiving
Yeah.
mail, but I don't currently do a lot of it in person. I'm one of those people who did not know how to send letters until I was way too old.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I definitely still enjoy the process, and anytime I get a postcard or a letter or something, it makes me so happy.
Give me your address and I'll send you a postcard.
Thank you.
Stripes or polka dots?
Stripes for sure.
Okay. Do you think of anything that is cute but can also be scary?
Oh, I would say my own art. Um, I don't know if that's presumptuous, but I see things like gore and dead things, mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
roadkill, some of these more serious or what other people might consider scary forms of nature. I consider them. I wouldn't know if cute's quite the right word, but I would say endearing
Yeah.
or thought provoking. So yeah, definitely that. I think a lot of cartoons can also be on that line between cute and terrifying.
Yes, absolutely. If you were an element of the vegetal world, what would you be?
Element of the what world?
Vegetal world of nature, just anything that's in nature.
Ooh. I would say fire.
Mm,
I would say fire for sure. My creativity can be both productive, bringing warmth and joy, but I think it can also be destructive, especially if you let yourself um, be too existential
yeah.
or let yourself be disconnected from the humanity that's engaging with your art. I think if you isolate too much, then you can turn that heat on yourself, and it's not healthy.
It's good for your audience because you create amazing art, but for yourself, it's not always great.
Yes,
um,
yes.
do you believe in art museums in the metaverse?
Oh, I think yes, in one way, because it brings access to people who might not have that access otherwise. I think
Hmm.
art can be enjoyed by everyone. I don't think it should be limited by class or income bracket. So I think in that regard, yes, but I think it's depressing that the only form of access that they might have is digitally, because I do not think that digital art conveys as much as it could. Or I should say, that digital presentation of traditional art is
Mm-hmm.
as effective. I think if you see a painting in person up close and you can see the texture, you can see the art reflection, you can see the color variation, you
Yeah.
do not get that same experience online. But like I said, access is almost more important, I think, than to the true experience. So I'm not a fan, but I
Yeah.
recognize why it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's better maybe than not having at all. um,
Yeah.
finish this sentence. I had a dream.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure. Um, I had a dream that I could sell my original art and somebody who purchases it understands the meaning behind it and embraces that for themselves.
I'm sure they will. Yes. Favorite color for a sofa? Going back to simple
Oh,
things.
yeah. Red, 100%.
Which color? What would you for a sofa?
Yes, red, like
Sorry.
crimson, like
Yeah.
wine. I would want something. A, it hides wine stains, but also it's just very pretty.
Love it. What's the most punk thing you've ever done?
Um, oh boy, I would say being myself. That sounds like I don't know. It doesn't sound quite right, but when I chose to embrace my love of art and my love of the more macabre versions of art, embrace my own love of skeletal work and bones and things, the pushback from people in my life wasn't necessarily strong, but they didn't tie me to a lot of the things that I embraced. And me still taking that step and embracing that aspect of myself, I think is pretty punk.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Easter is coming. Who came first, the egg or the chicken?
The egg.
That's what I
I'd
think
have to say
too.
the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm
You're
gonna
welcome, and
pause
thank you for
on the
having me.
recording